Welcome to another presentation from the library at Virginia International University. Today we're going to talk about how to use the EBSCO Discovery Service on the library webpage. You'll notice here is a screenshot of the library webpage. It is set up so you can see that there's a search everything box and there's an A to Z list. We're going to talk about how to use both of them. Things to remember before you begin searching for library materials on the library website. You may have to search several times in order to find your material. You need to think about your search terms. And you have to know what resource types you're looking for. Are you looking for books or ebooks or academic journals? That should be clear before you begin your assignment. When we think about our search terms, we might have an example like we're doing the effects of climate change in the past 10 years on international trade. What are the search terms that we'll use out of here? We use climate change, international trade, and effects. But we will skip the words like of and the and in, because they're just going to look for the wrong things. Also keep in mind we're looking for the last 10 years, and we'll talk about how to use a limiter later. Remember, we need to know what resource types do we need. Does the assignment ask for specific resources? Does the teacher ask for books? Do they ask for ebooks? Do they ask for journal articles? Or they ask for scholarly or peer review? If you're using the library website from off campus, you'll be asked to log in. Go ahead and perform a search, and you'll get as soon as you click on an item, you'll get a login box that looks like this. You'll use your student or faculty portal name and password. When doing your research, you may already know what database you need to research. For instance, your teacher may have said, I want you to use JSTOR. You can use the A to Z list of databases located on the right-hand side, hitting the right tab. After you select the tab, the A to Z list gives you the databases in alphabetical order. Under each one of those titles is a description of the databases and tutorials on how to use them. So if you're at home and you'd like to learn how to use the database, you can watch a video or a PowerPoint. Now, if you'd like to search all the databases at the same time, you can use the Search Everything box to discover what each database has on the topic. So go ahead and put your search term in, and if you'd like, you can select limit it by the school, the information that you're looking for, or you can leave it at all. For here, I'm going to leave it at all and then hit search. Your search finds 2,412,739 related materials. To reduce the overall number of those materials to look for, we can use the limiters on the left-hand side. And there's a number of limiters that we'll discuss. You can limit by full text, print and online. You can limit by just library books, books found in the BIU library on the second floor of Village Drive. You can limit by scholarly or peer-reviewed journals. You can also limit by date. And here you have a sliding bar, or you can enter the date, and you can remember the initial query asked for articles just in the past 10 years. You can limit by source types and also by the subject. When you limit by the source type, you can select Show More, and when you do that, you'll get a screen like this. You can click on Name to alphabetize those, and let's say your professor said they only wanted academic journals and ebooks. You can see out of over 2 million searches or 2 million materials returned, just about 32,000 of those are academic journals. So we reduced that number greatly by selecting academic journals and ebooks as well. And you'll hit update, and that will give you a new total and only show those results. You can also select the subject that you want. Here we have a search from another search that we've done, but if I was looking for cloud computing, I would look for cloud computing on the left, and here's the number of articles on the right, and that's on the topic, and you click update.
Now let's put this all together. To do a search in the Discovery Service, you put your search term in the Search Everything box. You decide if you want to use one of the limiters by school. Now here I'm going to leave it to all and go ahead and hit search. And we're going to get over 2 million search results. Now to limit those, we can go on the left-hand side and do some limiters to help us reduce that overall number down. First, we can select, do we only want library books? Do we want those in full text? Has our professor asked for peer-reviewed articles? You can collect all those. Also, you can select date. And you remember our initial query was on the effects of climate change in the past 10 years on international trade. So to go back 10 years, we can do that, put that in the number box, and we've taken we're just a little over 2 million. We've greatly reduced by 500,000. But that might not be the only limiter we want to use. Also, our next limiter to look at is source types. If there has been a certain source type recommended, then go ahead and select those source types. You'll notice that on the left-hand side is the name of the source type. You can re-alphabetize those. Many times your professors ask for academic journals, and you can select that. You see academic journals, there's 289,000 of those. Maybe you want to add some ebooks. And again, you can hit update, and that's going to take our number way down. If we're still not happy with the search and we don't want to look through all these search results, we can also use the subject limiter. If you hit the show more, and you can re-alphabetize them. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the effects of climate change. So maybe climate change research. Climate change environmental aspects. It may be market trend or analysis because we're looking for international trade, and that doesn't appear in our searches. So we're going to have to do, like I said before, we may have to do another search just on international trade and climate change. And now we can see that's down to 19,000 articles, a little more searchable. And you notice we have academic journals, newspapers, periodicals, and we're looking for, is there any other type? Now, if we also want to see if there's library books available from our library, we could go ahead and hit library books. And you can see that there is one available. There's the call number. Is it available? You'll hit retrieve from the catalog. You'll open up to that book. It'll tell you it's in the reserve section, so you can't reserve that. But if it was not in the reserve section, you could place a hold on it. You would place a hold, and it would tell you, give you, you would put in your student ID number or faculty, or here's the login information for what you need. Thank you.
If you have any questions, please do contact the librarians, and we'll be glad to assist you.